And it looked like the Cleveland Browns locker room is ready to turn on Kevin Stefanski a day before tomorrow's matchup against any coach, man. The biggest fear, I feel like, is your team turning on you in locker room drama. Well, I'm here to tell you, insiders and people that is close to the Cleveland Browns football team is letting it be known that is exactly the case that is boiling and brewing in the Cleveland Browns locker room.
Breaking news out of Cleveland. And no, this ain't about another factory of sadness. This one's way juicier. Word on the street is the Browns' locker room is boiling hotter than a busted radiator. All because Coach Stefanski might be sitting on a secret tied to Shedeur Sanders. Players are allegedly flipping on him like a light switch in a blackout. And the tension is getting wild. Why? Because Shedeur hasn't even touched the field yet. And that's got teammates whispering like it's a soap opera script playing out in real time. Some guys are so frustrated, folks are calling it a mutiny in the making. Apparently, the Cleveland Browns locker room has officially decided that chaos isn't a problem. It's a lifestyle. And Coach Kevin Stefanski? He's the newest man with a target on his back.
Address this sort of persistent narrative that you're trying to sabotage Shedeur Sanders, especially after yesterday and not putting him in for the 2-minute.
Yeah, obviously, I don't concern myself with outside type of things, but I'm committed to his development, just like all of our rookies. So we'll continue to focus on getting our guys better, and that's what we'll stay committed to, and that's what's.
But here's the kicker: this beef isn't about sloppy play calling, bad defense, or even Deshaun Watson's never-ending roller coaster rides on the field. Nope, the drama's been handed over to a brand new star, Shedeur Sanders. Yes, the same Shedeur who hasn't played a single down, hasn't thrown a single pass, and hasn't even taken a real hit in Cleveland colors. Somehow, he's already managed to flip the Browns' entire facility into a straight-up reality show audition tape. That takes a rare kind of magic, or maybe just Browns energy. And honestly, that's Cleveland in a nutshell. If there's ever a moment of peace, they'll invent the noise. It's like the city signed some secret deal to guarantee one football circus every single fall. While other teams fight over blown coverages or dropped assignments, the Browns are in-house debating about a rookie who hasn't even moved off the sideline yet.
Ugly in Cleveland, man. Now there's been an article released about Kevin Stefanski losing the locker room and the veteran players eventually turning their back on the head coach. And we got a lot to unpack. Man, I'm here to tell you, man, the rumor mill is starting to swirl, man. We getting some new information out of Cleveland that the Cleveland Browns veteran players are about to turn their back on Kevin Stefanski. And is he losing control over the locker room? Now, we've seen this whole quarterback situation play out through the draft.
You know a franchise is cursed when the main source of drama comes from a guy who hasn't stepped on the field. It's like arguing over birthday cake batter before it even hits the oven, and then realizing somebody forgot the frosting too. Yet the whispers won't quit. Word drifting out of that locker room says players are starting to question Stefanski himself. Has he lost his grip, his nerve, or maybe both? Not because the offense fell apart, not because the defense couldn't hold a lead. Nope. The whole storm in Cleveland is because Shedeur Sanders is still standing on the sideline with a clipboard in his hand. That's the crime. And here's the wild part. This mess ain't about film study. It ain't about carefully drawn up playbooks. And it's definitely not about years of coaching philosophy.
Players, and a lot of these guys in the locker room want Shedeur Sanders to play. They want Shedeur Sanders not only to play, but to start. They do not want Joe Flacco in there. They do not want Dylan Gabriel above Shedeur. These are players that is on the Cleveland Browns team. Because you want to know why? Because if Shedeur play and Shedeur starts, everybody wins. Everybody make more money because now the interest in the team is hotter than every team in the NFL. Ticket sales go up, merchandise sales go up. Just anything with the Cleveland Browns is going to go up if they make this.
In the eyes of impatient players, patience looks like straight-up stubbornness, and stubbornness fuels frustration like gas on a fire. It's almost poetic how quick this blew up. A rookie with swagger strolls into the building, rocking the aura of someone born for stardom. And suddenly the vets who've been grinding for seasons start whispering, maybe he's the answer. You'd think Cleveland's locker room would finally crave stability after living in chaos for decades. But nah, drama is way more addictive. Drama distracts, drama sells, and drama is the only thing keeping group chats buzzing long after practice wraps. And now, Shedeur Sanders has turned into the lightning rod, pulling every ounce of that energy. But this is Cleveland, the home of a fan base starving for a taste of magic. The home of a franchise that hasn't had steady quarterback play since people were still dialing on rotary phones. Shedeur doesn't just represent a rookie quarterback, he represents possibility. That's why this spiral has been so fast and so loud. He's not just the new guy in the locker room anymore. He's already been painted as the future. Logic? Tossed in the dirty laundry bin. Rational thinking? Doesn't trend online. But a quarterback controversy? Oh, that's headline gold, and Stefanski is trapped right in the middle of it. Doesn't matter that Shedeur hasn't even faced the speed of an NFL defense yet. Doesn't matter that patience could actually help him thrive down the road. What matters in Cleveland is hype. And right now, hype is calling the shots. Right now, perception has straight up morphed into reality. And that reality is choking under the weight of wild expectations. The Browns didn't need outside help creating drama. They've been perfecting that art form for decades of heartbreak. But the arrival of Shedeur Sanders has dropped a brand new script into the mix. One where a rookie's aura feels bigger than his resume, and one where Coach Stefanski's grip on the squad looks shakier by the day. And honestly, nobody should be shocked. NFL locker rooms are fragile ecosystems. These are grown men crammed together day after day, seeing more of each other than their own families. Meeting rooms, film sessions, cafeterias, weight rooms. It's a pressure cooker waiting for somebody to crack. And now you've got Shedeur sitting pretty on the bench while fans outside are foaming at the mouth, desperate just to see him launch his first NFL pass. The funny part? NFL vets normally don't give 2 cents about what's trending online. Half these dudes can't even reset their Wi-Fi routers. But now, suddenly, they're acting like teenagers glued to their screens. They're scrolling Instagram reels, YouTube edits, TikToks of shadow torching college defenses, hitting slow-mo lasers 40 yards downfield, flexing on cornerbacks, and flashing that wristwatch celebration after a touchdown. And once those clips start bouncing around the locker room, oh, the whispers get louder. Curiosity spreads like wildfire. Before long, half the team is looking around thinking, why not let the kid take a shot? But here's the harsh truth. This ain't Colorado anymore. This ain't some Pac-12 cupcake matchup where Shedeur dances circles around undersized DBS. This is the NFL, a league stacked with grown men carrying mortgages, aching backs, and speed that feels like video game cheat codes. These are defensive ends who run like Olympic sprinters, but hit like refrigerators on wheels. And that's the storm waiting for Shedeur if he ever steps onto that field. Players see the electricity in the air, they feel the buzz pulsing through the building, and suddenly they start convincing themselves, maybe, just maybe, this untested rookie is the magic bullet to save their season. Doesn't matter that jumping from college Saturdays to NFL Sundays is like going from singing karaoke at a dive bar to headlining Madison Square Garden. The script's already written in their heads. Shedeur Sanders equals spark, spark equals wins, and wins equal salvation. And that's what makes this whole saga hilarious. Shedeur hasn't even stepped on the field yet, but somehow he's already splitting the locker room in two. Veterans side-eyeing the coaching staff, younger dudes quietly hyping him up, and the entire vibe feels less like an NFL franchise and more like a reality show with shoulder pads. Picture it. Confessional-style interviews in black and white. Defensive tackles sighing about leadership, wide receivers complaining they need excitement, linemen muttering that the coach doesn't get it. It's not pure hate towards Stefanski. It's just that hype has a gravitational pull way stronger than strategy ever could. Instead of studying game plans and focusing on execution, distractions are spreading like wildfire. Guys are watching Shedeur highlight reels during breakfast, replaying clips in the locker room, whispering about him in the weight room. Once that energy takes over, no motivational speech, no fiery halftime talk, Not even a death stare from Stefanski can shove that genie back in the bottle. On Stefanski's clipboard, logic might still live, but inside his players' hearts, hype already claimed victory. Because Shedeur Sanders isn't just hype, he's a full-blown marketing package. He's got the swagger, he's got Deion Sanders DNA, and he's rocking an aura that feels bigger than the Browns themselves. Which, let's be honest, isn't hard considering the Browns brand has been the punchline of NFL jokes for decades. This is the same franchise that treated Johnny Manziel like a Hollywood celebrity instead of a quarterback, and then acted shocked when that whole experiment crashed and burned faster than a TikTok trend. And here we are again. Of course, Stefanski doesn't want to toss another rookie quarterback straight into the fire just to feed hype. But players? They don't think like that. They want the spark, even if it burns everything down. Players are thinking, we're not winning enough, and that shiny new toy on the bench could fix it. It's like having a brand new sports car parked in your driveway and still driving around in a rusty minivan. Sooner or later, someone's gonna ask, why not take the car for a spin? And once that question gets whispered inside a locker room, it spreads faster than gossip at a family barbecue. Here's the truth about NFL locker rooms. It's not just about stats or performance, it's about belief. If enough players start believing one guy could be the spark, even if that belief is completely off base, it still shifts the energy. And right now, Cleveland's energy is split down the middle. Half the squad still trusts Stefanski, believing he knows what he's doing. The other half? They think he's gatekeeping a superstar. And once a coach starts losing the room, it doesn't matter how many plays are drawn up on the clipboard. The season starts slipping right through his hands. Shedeur Sanders is the perfect storm for this mess. He's young, flashy, confident, and already carries himself like he's a celebrity. That magnetic aura pulls the younger guys straight to him like moths to a flame. Meanwhile, the vets. Some are annoyed by the nonstop hype. Others are secretly wondering if maybe, just maybe, this kid is the missing piece. It's like being asked to pick between pineapple pizza or anchovies. No matter which side you're on, someone's gonna scream at you. But let's not act like this is brand new in the NFL. Remember Tim Tebow with the Broncos? That locker room got split, the fans went wild, and the coaches eventually had to bend to the hype machine. The big difference? Tebow at least had that miracle playoff win to buy him some credibility. Shedeur hasn't even had a preseason miracle, not a single highlight on NFL turf. And still the buzz around him is bigger. That's how powerful this kid's aura is. And don't forget the Browns' history. This franchise has chewed up and spit out quarterbacks like they were sunflower seeds. Which makes this hype train even scarier, because it feels like Cleveland is about to climb back on the same ride. Again, they've burned through quarterbacks like some folks burn through phone chargers. Every couple of years, it's the same tragic loop. A new savior shows up, hype rockets to the moon, and by Thanksgiving, the whole city's already debating who the next savior should be. And now, Shedeur Sanders is just the latest star in this endless game of quarterback roulette, and you can practically hear the frustration from inside the locker room. These players are busting their bodies every Sunday, desperate for any edge to pull out wins. Meanwhile, the guy they believe could light a fire under this offense is just standing there, holding a clipboard. To them, that looks like wasted opportunity. To Stefanski, it looks like discipline and patience. Two completely different realities, now colliding under the same roof. And here's the wild twist. The Browns don't even need this drama right now. But throw in the outside noise and suddenly it's chaos on every level. Fans are already chanting for Shedeur like he's the second coming. Social media is flooded with edits of him. Half of them probably made by teenagers who've never even sat through an actual Browns game. The media? They're eating it up because nothing sells clicks faster than a quarterback controversy. And the locker room? They're human. They hear it, they feel it, and slowly some of them start believing it. This is where jobs start slipping away. A coach can survive a bad call, maybe even a few brutal losses, but once the players stop believing you're the leader, once they think you're standing in the way of the future, it's over. And Stefanski has to be sweating right now because even if he's making the right football move, perception is drowning out reality. The perception is that he's blocking the rise of Shedeur Sanders. So now the million-dollar question, what happens next? Does Stefanski cave, hand the kid the keys, and pray the hype pays off? Or does he double down, keep Shadow chained to the bench, and risk losing his own locker room. Neither option feels safe. If he throws Shadow in too early, he risks breaking the kid before he's ready. If he waits too long, he risks alienating his roster. It's like juggling knives while blindfolded. You might impress the crowd for a second, but eventually something sharp is going to cut deep. And that's exactly where the Browns always land, teetering on the edge of competence before slipping on their own banana peel. Shedeur Sanders might be the franchise savior, or he might just be another sad chapter in Cleveland's endless quarterback curse. Because if history has taught us anything, it's this. The Browns don't just play football, they turn it into a soap opera every single season. This year's storyline? Shedeur Sanders versus Kevin Stefanski. One's the flashy new face of hype, the other's the steady hand of discipline. And the locker room is stuck in the middle, picking sides like it's a family feud. And you can bet on one thing. However this ends, it's going to be peak Browns. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.